And in this world geography, now it's turn to study about the Australia. So let's study about the Australia. Okay, the Australian kangaroos. So it is a smallest continent of the world and lies entirely in the southern hemisphere. Remember this. It lies entirely in the southern hemisphere, and a Tropic of Capricorn runs almost through the middle of the continent, and this Tropic of Capricorn divides the continent into two equal parts. Okay, ये आपका अगर globe है, then here is the Australia. Okay, and this is the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, let me show you on the globe. This is the globe and here is the Australian continent. Okay, and let's see the map of Australia. So if you see the map of Australia, you will see lot of water bodies around the Australian continent. So first is Timor Sea, and here this is the Indian Ocean mainly. Now first let's see about the ocean. So this is Indian Oceans, this is the Southern Ocean, and here this is the South Pacific Ocean. So three main oceans around the Australian continents are the Indian Ocean, the Southern Ocean in the south, and the South Pacific Ocean in the east side. Okay, now this is Timor Sea. Here if you see, this is the Arafura Sea, this is Coral Sea, and near the Coral Sea these are the Great Barrier Reef, which is very famous for the coral structure, the Great Barrier Reef, very important. Okay, here you will find this is the Tasman Sea, and here this is the Great Australian Bight. This is the Bass Strait between Tasmania and Australia. Okay, and here you will find this is Gulf of Carpentaria, and here this is the 80-mile beach. So these are the important water bodies around this Australian continent. Now this is the Tropic of Capricorn, which is going through the Australia, and it is dividing Australia into two equal parts. So here is the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, now if you see the cities in Australia, all of them are situated on the coastline. So first, if you start from the eastern side, you will find Brisbane. This is the Brisbane on the eastern coast of Australia. Then if you come south, you will find Sydney. Then again if you come south, you will see this is Canberra. Now Canberra is capital of Australia. Okay, remember this, Canberra is the capital of Australia. And then on in the south you will find Melbourne. So this is the Melbourne, again very important country of Australia, important city of Australia. Okay, then this is Adelaide. This is also an important city in Australia. Then this is Perth, again an important city in Australia. And then in the northern side you will find this is Darwin. So this is also an important city in Australia. So in this way, all the cities are situated on the coastline of the Australian continent. Why? Because the internal area, the interior area of the Australia is sandy and desert. So that's why the population is mainly settled in the coastal areas only. Now if you have to remember all these cities from east to west side, or in clockwise direction, you can remember by getting a short form. So the short form is B, S, C, M, A, and P, H, and D. So this is the small a short form to remember all the cities. So B is for Brisbane here. Okay, then S for Sydney, C for Canberra, M for Melbourne, A for Adelaide, and PH for Perth, and D for Darwin. So BSc, MA, PhD. Okay, BSc, MA, PhD. So this is the short form to remember the cities of the Australia. Okay, from in a clockwise direction. Now if we see the physical features of the Australian continent, we will find two important rivers in Australia. So this is the Murray River, and here this is the Darling River. So there's two important rivers in the Australia. Okay, Murray River and Darling River. These are the two important rivers in Australia. Now as I have told you, and you can see, this is the desert area in Australia. So there are 6 important deserts in Australia. So first, if we see, this is the Great Sandy Desert. Okay, then again you will find Gibson Desert, and then again in the south you will find the Great Victoria Desert. So these are the 3 important deserts: Great Sandy, Gibson and Great Victoria, the north to south in the western region of Australia. Now if we see in the central region of Australia, you will find another 3 important deserts north to south. Okay, and these deserts are Tanami. First is Tanami Desert, then the second one is Simpson Desert, and the third one is Stuart Stony Desert. So these are the 3 important deserts again in the middle area of Australia. So the 6 deserts are very important in Australia. You should remember the names of the deserts in the Australia. Okay, and here you will find on the eastern coast, this is the Great Barrier Reef, the coral structure, which is very important. This is the largest barrier reef, okay, in the world. So that's all about the Australian continent. In our next lesson, we will study about the Europe. Okay.